So welcome to this MTD podcast. It's a special edition. We're doing this here at the Engineering Technology Group in Wellesbourne. I'm joined today by Giovanni Albanese from MTDCNC and Joe Reynolds from MTD as well, and special guest Martin Doyle, the Managing Director from ETG. It is a bit of a special occasion today. We've come here to launch the Vulcan range to the UK market. Guys, welcome to the show. I'll start with yourself, Martin. Obviously, you're the special guest on today's podcast. Tell us a little bit about the reason behind the introduction of these new machines.
We saw a gap in the market. As I said to Lindsay last week, the customers are looking to us tend to look to us for the high-end machines with the Nakamuras, the Quasars, and the Bavius, etc. But there's definitely a market for the entry-level range, and customers were wanting us to apply our skills and knowledge from the turnkey element to an entry-level range of machines. So that's where it was born from.
And when you embarked down this road, what were the kind of 4 or 5 points that you really wanted to hone in on with this range? Where were the areas that you felt could make this a success?
But when you're looking at entry-level machines, down to price is usually top of the list, which is a bit unusual for us because we don't tend to talk about prices of the equipment we sell. We talk about cost per part and stuff like that. But so price definitely comes into it. The quality, the build quality of the machines was important to us, but control as well, keeping control of the machines coming out of the factories in Taiwan. That was a big focus of ours as well. And
how do you manage that? Because there's a lot of companies supplying Taiwanese products into the UK market and around the world. How have you managed to overcome that as an obstacle?
Well, we've done it a bit different in that we actually employ a team in Taiwan that works with the 3 factories that these machines are coming out of. We spec the machines to our specification from the customer needs and the feedback we're getting from the customers. The look of the machines is completely different, the ergonomics of the machines completely different, but more to the point, the quality side of it, the team over in Taiwan keep a very close eye on the quality of the machines that are coming out of the factories there for us.
And at this point, I'm going to bring the MTD guys in. I'll start with yourself, Joe. You travel around the UK market a lot, like we all do, looking at machine tools that are installed in this entry-level area as well. Do you believe that there's a gap in the market for this type of product, or do you believe that Martin's intentions will become a success as a result of what he's trying to achieve?
Yeah, for sure. Massive opportunity for the group. It's obviously a crowded market, but you've got to make yourself different, and I think that's what they've done at ETG. Yes, you can go and bring a machine in from anywhere in the world, put your badge on it, but I think this is a bit different, isn't it? They've actually designed it, they've spec'd it. It's essentially, it is an ETG machine. It's not a machine that they've just bought in and put their badge on. But it is a crowded market, but what you would get from ETG, you get the office here, don't you? You get the installation team, you get the training department, even an element of turnkey should you need it. Everything is here under one roof.
And I suppose when you look at entry level, again, you're talking to customers that are embarking on maybe their first machine tool purchase. So some of the aspects that you mentioned there are quite important, aren't they? The reliability of the product, but also the ability to get someone to educate you along that journey.
Yeah, sure. So you still get the hand-holding you'd expect from ETG, but you say entry-level, they're an entry-level price. That doesn't necessarily mean the machine's entry-level. I'm looking at a TC 250M now with full milling capability. I wouldn't necessarily class that as an entry-level machine. It's a entry-level price, but not necessarily in terms of performance.
And I think that's the great thing about this podcast. We're actually doing this live here in the showroom at Wellesbourne this morning. Gio, going to bring you in. This is your first outing out for a little while. What do you think of what you see here at ETG in Wellesbourne with these machines?
I think they look fantastic. Visually, they're a great looking machine, but what's underneath the skin is also important. I think it doesn't compromise their existing range in any way, shape or form. When you look at the machines such as the Quasar, the Nakamuras, the Bavius, top-end machines, but they pride themselves on turnkey packages, solutions, providing solutions. But bringing this machine tool into their portfolio of products, I think, like Martin says, it bridges a gap. It gives them an offering to be able to offer a different solution when going into some accounts. Some accounts don't all need turnkey packages or high-end machines, so it bridges that gap. It gives them another option, and it for new engineering companies that are starting up again, it's another way in.
When you were at Clemonta, would you have liked to have got your hands on one of these?
Sorry, Paul?
I said, when you were at Clemonta, would you have liked to have got your hands on one of these?
Oh, yeah, definitely. I'm looking at the machines, and like Joe mentioned, you've got the Salter turret on the TC250, very high-end. You've got the Hydrofeed bar feeder. Some of the extra options that are on the machine are top class. You've got nice options on the machines at an entry-level price and an affordable price. You could also introduce turnkey elements like Joe mentioned as well. They've got the knowledge and expertise to support their potential clients. Is
it fair to say, Martin, that you may have been losing business somewhere along the line in some of your customers because you weren't offering this as a solution? I mean, let's look at the success of your Nakamura product in recent years. You must have been going into accounts there sometimes, supplying that level of technology, and someone turning around to you and saying, well, Martin, actually, I just need a small footprint 600 X-axis VMC that is a good job in shop machine.
Yeah, it's a good point. Good point you made earlier as well, Paul, in that certain customers are starting their journey in the CNC world. They don't want to jump straight into the multi-axis solutions that we offer, and maybe we got a bit complacent because we're used to it. We call in these entry-level machines, as Joe pointed out, they're not necessarily entry-level, but to us they definitely are, because of the type of products we're used to selling or offering. So we need to sort of take certain customers on a journey, and they may start off with the Vulcan range, and the idea being is that we take them on that journey, support them on the journey through the growth of their company, and start building in the more efficient ways of working with the Quasars and the Nakamuras, etc. So this really is, don't get me wrong, this really is an entry level for us, an entry level range that in no way conflicts with the other machines we've got, and it's just a starting point really. Our core competence 100% is turnkey solutions. So this fills a gap at the very start of that journey that we want to take the customers on.
What about the commercial side? How's it work with your organisation? Because you've got guys out there talking really on a really technical level about turnkey packages as you've suggested. Are you splitting the organisation in a sense where you've got specific salesmen focusing on specific products now, or is everybody capable of looking broadly at what's right for the customer? Yeah,
the existing sales team will now have an extra string to the bow, basically. But we certainly do have specialists that concentrate on the higher end machines, and we'll have specialists that concentrate on just on the Vulcans as well.
Joe, I'll come back to you. Again, we travel to a lot of showrooms. Nice to be able to come somewhere and see a good mix, isn't it? Where you can look at, as Martin said, the entry level side, but maybe take a step up as well. It could be a way of upselling in some respects without being commercially greedy.
Sorry to interrupt. That's exactly what it's designed for. Let's be, being selfish about it. That's what it's there. We're calling it a hook machine. Let's get the customers interested at an entry level price. They might be scared off by the multi-axes and the higher value products that we offer, but let's just get them started on that journey. And we're talking about the support that we have coming direct from Taiwan with the employees we have over there. That's another selfish thing that we've done. Yes, of course, the customer gets the benefit because they get a good quality machine, but we don't want to be putting bad quality machines out there because of the price point of these machines. If anything goes wrong with them in the market, that's straight away the margin's wiped out. So we need these machines to come across, working, hit the ground running straight off the bat, which is why we've put all these quality checks in place over in Taiwan.
That hook is a bit like Joe when he goes into Burger King. That's why they started doing salads, because they knew they'd get him through the door, and they knew once he was in,
it's a hook food, isn't it? And then he's going to have like
a triple burger.
Mega Max. See, I've got a far better analogy, and unlike yours, Paul, mine's truthful. So me and Michelle, my wife, we went to buy a Ford Focus a number of years ago, And you go when we sat in the Ford Focus and there's a BMW part next to it, and you know where the store is going. We drove the BMW way, not the Ford Focus. And it's a bit like that coming to ETG. The Vulcan's a fantastic machine for a number of businesses, but if you do need that multitasking element, it's probably not the right machine. You want a Nakamura. And that's probably what will happen. People walk in here, they'll take one look at the Vulcan, great machine, great price point, but if they're doing complex components, they may, like Martin says, upsell to a Nakamura.
It's no secret. It's been a pretty tough time recently. I'll come back to you on this, Martin, in a minute. But Gio, this is your first time out for a while, but you're chomping at the bit, aren't you, to get round a few factories?
Oh, absolutely, yeah. I mean, it's been too long, really. I think it's great that the lockdown's been eased and hopefully we all get back to some kind of normality soon. I think it's really important for manufacturing. I think that manufacturing could kind of, hold up the country, really. Look at the high streets, restaurants. I think they're going to be quiet for a very long time. So I think the government really does need to look at manufacturing for us to start manufacturing our own parts and to become more self-sufficient and stop relying on other countries for
Martin,
cheaper parts.
Has it had a big impact on you over recent weeks? I mean, it's been very quiet.
Yeah, massively. Let's face it, it's affected everyone to some extent. Definitely. Sales of machines are down, as you would expect. Customers furloughing their staff and turning the spindles off. So that demand hasn't been there. We're still obviously supporting customers with spares, and we have a number of service engineers out there and keeping the customers going. There's light at the end of the tunnel. We're still talking about the project work.
And how important is it for you, though, now to have these machines here? Some may call it good timing, some may call it bad. I mean, it's hard to second guess it, but having the kit here is certainly a big advantage to you, isn't it? To be able to show people.
Yeah, definitely. You can look at the pros and cons both ways. The cons being timing for the launch of an entry-level product range isn't great, but nobody could have predicted that. On the positive side, it's given us a good time to sort of take a couple of steps back and redress where the direction we're going in, look at where this fits and start putting packages together. So it's given us time to get it right, but yeah, the negatives, to be fair, have outweighed the positives. It's not great.
And let's hope that doesn't continue, because in addition to what we can see here today, which is turning centres and VMCs, there's also double column machines in the range. Martin, we're going to be obviously doing this live launch today. This podcast will come out after that. But what I can wish you, and I'm sure we all do, is success with this range. I'm sure you will have a lot of success, and we look forward to visiting a few installations once the machines are in. Don't forget to visit the Engineering Technology Group's website, engtechgroup.com, to find out more about the Vulcan range, or obviously tune into MTDCNC, where you'll be able to see footage of the live launch and plenty of machine reviews, independent machine reviews as well. Thanks very much for joining us today, gentlemen. And that's it for today's MTD Podcast Live here from ETG.
Thanks for listening to the MTD Podcast. If you found value in this episode, please subscribe and leave a rating and review. Find more episodes on mtdcnc.com.